record it, and transcribe it. Yeah, I need to let you know you're being recorded right now, apparently.
Oh no.
So, dude, feel totally off kilter now because technical difficulties at its finest.
When I launch my podcast, I'm just going to use one of the services.
Yeah, so I was going to use Podbean, and I still probably will use them to facilitate, but they don't do video. They do the fixing of the video, and then they do the distribution management. So I like them. They have really good AI features built in. Bit pricey, but when you actually do comparisons, the services are actually cheaper than building a lot of these things and managing them still.
Yeah.
Like I was looking last night at different SDRs, agentic SDRs, because I'm like, do I want to build this on one of our studios, or do I want to just buy it for now? And buying it for now looks like the best option.
Yeah.
Pricing wise, it's insane.
If you're technical.
Yeah. Well, even me, like I know how to build these things, and it's just like I was looking at it, and I was like, this will take me 3 weeks to build this. Honestly, I could probably do it faster if I had dedicated time, but you know how that is.
Yep.
Have you seen the new Jason AI?
No.
Full service SDR. 500 a month starting.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It will do 1,000 leads from a billion database. And I know several companies offering this billion databases. And I'm like, where are they open sourcing all this? Or which ones are they paying for as a combined 1 billion, And then they're white labeling it. Apollo, Zoom Info, which is trash. Hopefully not seamless AI. No AI in that crap. But so I want to talk to you about the military industrial complex.
Oh, Jimmy.
So
you're starting heavy.
Well, that's where we left off. So tell me, why is it going to be the dystopia?
So I'm not the only one concerned about this. And a lot of people don't know because, I grew up in the business space. They know me from business, but I actually studied political science in college. And so that's where I first encountered Eisenhower's famous speech about the military industrial complex. So on his way out of office, he warned everyone, hey, just so you know, most of the military tools, etc., are being built not as government institutionalized organizations. They're independent contractors. Yeah. And so because it's a business, it has different motivations than the government does, which means by extension it has a different motivation than you and I have. And his warning didn't actually work at all. Like not even a little. In fact, it's amplified. The military spending, it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry, even defense, right? It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry.
It's massive.
Right. And so even the notion that you could shut it down at this point, like just to put it into context, imagine the government coming out and saying, overnight, you have to completely shut down Apple, Amazon.com, and Google. Gone. How would you shut down those industries? Those are people who have a, I don't want to use too colorful of language. Let me just put it this way. They don't have their finger on triggers in quite the same way.
Are you talking about similar to what Clausewitz says in his book, that it's just an extension of politics, or are you talking about something different?
I'm just talking about okay, so let's just call it like the caged bear syndrome, right? I just made that up, so
I can
We'll
tell.
just go with the analogy for a minute. So
Okay.
you got a bear. It's a dangerous thing,
Yeah.
right? It's a wild animal. It's a wild beast. You've got it in a cage, and therefore you think you control it. That's the way that we are when it comes to actually military weaponization. We have a caged bear. We think we have the key to it. We think we control it. But if you push back too hard, it will get you. This is in essence what I think Musk was alluding to I think it was the last time he was on the Rogan show, right on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he's like, I can't push too hard or my life might be at risk.
I could see that. It doesn't matter how quote unquote powerful you are. There are enough people in positions where it's like, if you're messing with the game, they're gonna get rid of you. I feel like the Clintons proved that with Epstein. They're like, you can't touch us. It's done.
Yeah, so I mean, not to go, I'm actually I think by nature, maybe, or maybe it's by discipline. One of the two. I
It's by
don't
discipline.
I don't love conspiracy theories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love things that I can't wrap my arms around. I don't love
Yeah.
things I can't shine a full flashlight on. It's the
Okay.
reason why I sometimes not only go down rabbit holes, it's the reason why I build tools to help me explore rabbit holes. So I have a custom GPT. It's still sitting in the OpenAI ChatGPT sandbox. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Logispark. And I trained it to ignore social sentiment, to ignore any kind of algorithmic weighting of authority metrics, right? So Google search, you've got anything that comes from the media gets like an apex weighting score, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to Google search, like this is why you can't really do reputation repair online if you've been on a major network. And so I programmed this GPT to basically ignore all that and only give me probabilities to be as objective as possible. And I've got a whole bunch of Bayesian logic and everything. Yes, everything you can imagine under the sun. I threw everything at it but the kitchen sink because I wanted to fix the stupid. And how's it working? Well, it works for me very well.
When you use your GPT, you have access to the high compute pro, right?
Uh-huh.
And you utilize it with that and you're seeing dramatically different results.
Oh yeah, if you juxtapose the two, like if you just go general GPT,
Mm-hmm.
any GPT, it doesn't matter if it's chat or anything else, and then you run it through the custom logic, and it's not even the high compute, it's just the custom logic. You will get dramatically different responses.
How are you able to elucidate that your GPT isn't biased? Like, I know from what you're describing to me, it sounds very, and I know the way you operate, but how do you show your audience that you're not also under the hood, altering its behavior mechanics to a bias? Or do you?
So as far as the audience itself, I haven't really pushed heavy. But as far as myself, this is my, if you want to hack, this is my hack for pushing back for even on any LLM drift. Take any custom application that you're training that's going to have human bias built into it.
Yeah.
And at any point you start to sense any kind of drift, bias, etc., ask it to score its responses.
Score its responses and what, like, how do you contextualize that for the AI?
Okay, so for that one particularly, I'm asking it to score itself on the logic principles that are built into the GPT.
Okay, so it recurses back. Okay.
Yes, so it's like a reset, right? Right, it's almost like a prompt reset. So
I have thoughts on that, but continue.
Okay, so basically, and it won't always auto reset. Sometimes, the drift is really, it's got momentum, so you just have to push back again and just let it know, hey, I disagree. Sometimes you have to actually do a hard prompt, reminded of the principles that everything is based on. And sometimes, because the code that's built in is designed to be protective in nature, right? They want to avoid lawsuits, or maybe there's an agenda, right? Maybe there is something
Are you talking
in the
about
code.
reinforcement learning human feedback?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Continue, please.
So sometimes it does want to avoid you know this because you use it on a regular basis. When AI shifts into cautionary voice, I do need to warn you that this is not the medically approved stance, or this is not the scientifically approved stance, or there's not yada 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 yada, you name it.
Yeah.
So that's where I force it to score itself.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
How many people are aware of what you just basically implicitly talked about, the medically approved stance, the scientifically approved stance?
Very few. Well, okay. I think on a meta level, I think all of society has a sense
We're just going
that,
to play along.
yeah, that we're being influenced, that there is propaganda, and it's probably more robust now, which is why you have so much social unrest. I mean, look, I think it was either millennials or Gen Z. About a year and a half ago, I read a report that said it's somewhere around 40% of them are actively fantasizing becoming expatriates, leaving the country. So they feel like they're already in a dystopia. Actually, we did so yesterday we did a boot camp.
Yeah.
And we did a full breakdown. I used TikTok as my guinea pig. We did this experiment and like, hey, look, let's just imagine that we're the think tank that's been hired to advise TikTok on where they're at in the market and what the potential risk they have between now and 2025.
What made you elect to do that analysis?
Because I've started teaching a concept that I've built tools around. I've started teaching a concept and a program around this this idea of inevitability.
Okay.
Right. So usually inevitability is easiest to see in the rearview mirror, right? So success leaves clues. You take individuals like Musk, you take individuals like Jobs, Peter Thiel, et cetera, so on and so forth. There are certain leading indicators that you can detect early on and trace back. I teach the law of outcomes, right? Every outcome is attached to a process. If you change the process, you'll change the outcome. The earlier in the process you apply change, the higher the leverage probability on creating a dramatically alternate outcome. So I take the same approach looking in the rearview mirror, like, okay, were some of these people actually inevitable? Were their success stories inevitable? And if so, is there a formula? Are there things that we can look at? And then, so we did a 3-part analysis. We looked at the rise and fall of MySpace. What did they were inevitable for a moment until they weren't. They weren't inevitable because they didn't understand the core of human needs. Anonymity is not belonging and connection.
No.
So a 40% spike in fake profiles alienates me,
Yeah.
right? So we did an analysis on MySpace, then we did an analysis on Facebook, and Facebook was inevitable. So why did Facebook why were they able to take MySpace by storm? Because it was a verified user, a real person. That was the foundation. That was the core. It was, I know when I go to Facebook, I'm connecting with real relationships. Where they got themselves into trouble is when they started creating propaganda-driven echo chambers. Approved content versus not approved content. And suddenly we felt that we didn't have security. We didn't have a unique voice. Not only that, we all got worn out. So basically it was posting fatigue, right? I'm sick of posting a picture of me sitting in front of my meal or the mirror at the gym or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
And so we started feeling like we wanted a more responsive, authentic experience.
Okay.
And we wanted something that wasn't driven by, okay, let me put it this way. Facebook, in essence, created their own caste system. You had those that those were the celebrities at the top. Those that they had built influence, and then all of the algorithms followed that. They didn't follow your personal preference, really.
They weren't following interest graphs the same way TikTok was. Gary Vee
Yeah.
highlights that a
Yeah,
lot.
so TikTok took it by storm and says, hey, look, people actually care about what they care about. They don't want to be told what to watch and what not to watch and so on and so forth. And so it was purely algorithmic. It didn't matter if celebrity. So on TikTok, before the ban, if I followed, so let's just say I like one of your posts.
Yeah.
Instead of the algorithm automatically saying, oh, Jimmy's a celebrity, Levi liked his post, now Levi needs to only see Jimmy's stuff.
And looks at the topics.
Yeah, it was the specific topic. It was specifically, this was the thing.
Honestly, brilliant, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. So anyhow, we went down a rabbit hole.
Okay. Where did you end up?
So where we ended up is TikTok is in trouble.
Why?
So they had an erosion of trust as a result of the government ban. So anytime government gets involved in any privatized product, and we know about it, we're looking sideways at it. But it goes far beyond that. We don't. So that appetite that was unleashed for us when we started using TikTok of customized content is going to become an addiction when we can press a button or prompt conversation AI, and it will create for us one-of-a-kind, unique entertainment experiengot or learning experiences.
Sora already?
Yes, I love Sora.
Right. We need to friend each other. I got to start posting on it. I honestly feel it's really weird. Like I'm like, nothing on here is real. And I feel so disconnected emotionally, and I don't like it. Yeah. But yet I see how it's going to go viral, and I'm like, okay, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
But it's weird for me.
Yeah, it's okay, so my son, he's 15 now.
Yeah.
And he's always railing against AI because it's not authentic. People are going to want people experiences.
But if you can mimic the dopamine experience, that's a bunch of BS.
Okay, however, let me draw a metaphor.
You can, not the dopamine, but if you can mimic the entire experience. But yeah, draw a metaphor for me.
So in one generation of entertainment, there was no such thing as digital entertainment, right? There was only live. And then we had digital entertainment. They had the silent films. Then they had the speaking films, right?
Yeah.
Those were people, and we could still make that connection. But at one juncture in time, there was no such thing as animated films.
Valid.
Animation
Valid.
created a unique genre, but it didn't replace.
I'm like a huge anime fan, so I'm like dying, right? I'm like, well, I just ate my stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can yes, we're slowly evolving cavemen,
Yeah.
but we're more sophisticated than people give us credit for.
Yeah. And something I want to make a note on here, this is an irony. When I was getting into anime, when I dropped out of school, I was like 12. And the reason I picked it is because I felt that sitcoms and TV were so fake. I could tell they were acting. I could tell
Yes,
it
and the
wasn't
fake
real.
laughter.
The canned laughter, I'm fine with that. I get into that and I'm just like everybody else. But no, I can't do it. And it's so route. Whereas anime, I'm like, I know this is drawn the way they want you to experience it.
Yeah, it's an art form.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I guess anime, or not anime, AI, it's the same concept. And I guess I'm looking for that real, not just, have you followed Ryu by chance, the guy that's the product designer for Notion and now for Cursor?
No.
Look him up. His methodology and his belief structure for how we do things, like go for curiosity, not clicks. Like that's part of his method. Like I'm very much undermining what he says, but Notion is his design. Cursor is his design, where it's an
Brilliant.
experience, right? And you see it, even if you don't like it, you're like, this is gorgeous. And you're, at
Yeah.
least in my experience, I look at Cursor and I'm like, this is superb. So
Yeah, that's brilliant.
he teaches a lot of good principles about how we need to move towards a reality that's better than it currently is. And the way that I look at it is, yeah, these things work, but they're gonna fail. And the reason I say they're gonna fail is because they're saturating our receptors. And it's a matter of time, like you said, fatigue. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah. So we'll get dopamine overload,
Mhm.
and then we'll go through basically stimulus fatigue, right?
Yeah.
Although we don't. What do you think about this, Jimmy? Like, I know you studied the brain extensively. Like, do we really understand where that capacity is?
100%, we don't understand hardly anything about the human. We know it's not funny, even like we know nothing. Like you know nothing, Jon Snow. We really don't know anything.
Okay, so I'm in a similar boat because like I used to give this this presentation from the stage. I would teach people about human engagement, you know, behavioral design, neuromarketing, all that, and I would explain the different functionalities of the brain, how they process. You know, you've technically got a rational brain and an emotional brain, and I would draw this comparison of how many decisions we make a day compared to our ancestors. Not even our ancestors, our near ancestors. Our near
Oh my
ancestors,
gosh, the fatigue.
right? Our near
I'm sitting here
ancestors.
tired right now.
I ran the math, right? So on average, at maximum, I'll say at maximum, they made 4,000 decisions a day. At maximum.
How many are we capable of making in a day, and how many are we actually making in a day?
That's what I don't know is the capable, but I know that 10 years ago, when I first ran these numbers, we were on average making over 30,000 decisions a day. Oh, look, there he goes.
Continue.
So on average, and this is a decade ago, mind you, Jimmy. A decade ago, on average, we were making over 30,000 decisions a day. The early advent of social media, every time you scroll, like, right, subscribe, micro decision, micro decision, micro decision, micro decision.
So I want to share something with you that I don't think is being discussed yet, but that I have personally encountered. I try to run as many projects as I can simultaneously as an experiment on myself for several months to see how quickly I would experience fatigue. And I'm at a point now where I don't know what's happened to me, but I have both a negative neurological response to managing more than one thing at a time. And there were literal limitations of dramatic erosion of continuity and capability from the switching costs. Like it's exponential. When I had 2 projects, doable, like doable. 3, pushing it. 4, oh my goodness. 5, gone. Like, and then I would try to do like 8. And at this point, the context erosion and the overall immediate fatigue, we're talking nowadays, if I try to do that within 30 minutes, my brain is nuked unless I take my Adderall. And even then, I've got maybe 2 hours in me.
Okay, so maybe,
And I'm trying. Like, you know me, I'm very persistent.
yeah.
And I'm going to start using this to record to see what's happening. This is a 12-channel EEG. So I can see how my brain waves are altering. And I'm going to try, I need to get eye tracking too, to see pupil dilation. So I actually know if I'm concentrating or not, you know, even though the EEG should pick that up. But
oh, that's fascinating. Oh, okay. See, that's the kind of stuff that if I had all day an unlimited budget, I would study everything.
Right. I want an fMRI so
everything.
bad.
Yes. I have, well, it's been over a decade. I'm like, oh, if I could just study how the brain interacts with even media, right? I just want to understand what's happening. But I've had this lifelong curiosity and passion since I was a teenager. But okay, so go back to that. We don't know. So what we don't actually understand yet is what are the limits of how many decisions we actually can make. How much, like, and here's the other thing that we don't understand. Full resets. What does it take for a full reset? So I've studied this before. Full reset normally happens for a full night's rest. Right? You go through, you do
sleep 3 hours a night.
Right? So that's your problem. Actually, that is your problem. Like you could handle more switching if you actually had more rest, if your body was rested. So one of the hacks that I do, so I'm set up in a room where I've got a standing desk, but I have plenty of room behind me. I've got a set of kettlebells and a set of dumbbells over here. I got a mace, a set of resistance bands. So some of the things that you can actually do to reset that capacity is stretching, breath work, right? Even isometric tension, right? Basically resetting the ability. Now, it's not a full reset, it's a micro reset. So I've wondered sometimes, because in between meetings, I mean, I get down there and I stretch and I do my thing, right? And I'm able to handle a lot.
Gosh, how am I going to start sleeping again? It's been over a year.
Sleep is critical.
Yeah, I know I'm not okay.
Oh, this just happened. We recorded this.
Oh yeah, no, I know I'm not okay. Like I can tell cognitively that like, you know who I am, and I have eroded dramatically in my capabilities. And the irony is I can still keep up with a lot of people, but compared to what I really am, I'm like,
yeah, it's okay.
I need to sleep.
You need to sleep. You need to sleep. Absolutely.
Find a way.
No clue. Like it's like it's like any device, right? Our body's like any device. The only difference is it's bioenergetic. Like at some point, like we are going to print code onto biological material. It's going to be insane.
Oh, you saw it's out of either Denmark or the Netherlands, the brains. Have you seen that?
No.
So the only reason they can't keep them alive long term is they can't give them a respiratory system, but their computational capabilities are excessive, to put it mildly.
Oh no!
And yeah, they're building them from stem cells. They're neural structures. They're mimicking brain structures. I haven't looked at the exact continuity of performance, but they're dramatically over everything we're doing, and obviously they don't have the input energy required to run our facilities. Also, what just came out was a very micro, low parameter model. I think it was only 7 million parameters. And everyone's like, BS, we've seen enough of these. No, that little crapper can basically recurse enough that it's keeping up with, I think, O3 mini capabilities. Like it's a really tiny, 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 tiny model. So now people are like treating it kind of like a transistor type concept, I think.
All right, let me ask you a question related to the printing, right? So basically, in essence, creating like the moment you can do that, you're not far from creating, androids, hybrid species, etc. Right? It's only a matter of time. So talk about inevitable, right? There is an inevitability path. I know I started down that road earlier, but this is my question to you. Do you think it's immoral?
I think morality is a subjective experience.
Oh, I love it. I forced us into this conversation.
No, that's good.
Because I actually think you know me. We've been friends for a long time. I advocate everyone reads The Righteous Mind by Dr. Jonathan Haidt. He's technically the founder of moral foundations theory? I think it's moral foundations theory. And he talks about morality as technically, it's a subjective experience, right? The way that you put it. But you can always litmus test anyone's morality based on what they view as sacred or profane. Like that's sacred, right? We're going to honor this. This is profane. Like, how dare you? And if it's if something's so profane, we'll kill for it. Like that's the terrifying thing. We will kill for it.
I still don't think it's objective. Like there might be a truly objective constraint to that, but I see what you're saying. And there's things that immediately come to everyone's mind when you say that. And I'm like, but I know of cultures that would not agree with me. I know of people that would not behave the way I would on this particular item.
Well, most won't. In fact, I think I won't say holistically that we share the same perspective. But the last dialogue that we had about this, talking about subjective reality versus absolute truths, right? Mm-hmm. So from a logic exercise, if I say there's no absolute truth, I've created an absolute. So it breaks logic. So you can't
It's a
make that claim. Mm-hmm. However, most people make the leap from that to I can discover absolute truths. Or there is a source of absolute truths that's accessible to me. And I don't believe that. I believe our instrumentation is so infantile that the way that I say it now, that came out of my mouth in the middle of one of these exploratory dialogues, was it's not that truth is subjective. It's just subjective to all of us.
I agree.
All of us bring our own subjectivity to the conversation. Mm-hmm. And it's the reason why, I hate to throw this one out because I know where you live. I don't believe in things like prophetic privilege.
Oh, absolutely. I think that is one of, to quote, the most profane ideologies there is. And I love Ralph Waldo Emerson essentially crucifying it when he gave his speech on self-reliance. He's like, who is Moses? Who is Abraham? Why not you?
Ooh.
By the way, I don't think he was ever asked to come and speak at Stanford again after he spoke about something. I don't know if that was his talk he did, but yeah.
Well, it's very profane. So you've attacked the sacred, and by adverse response,
according to whom? Who built it?
Well, according to the community, right? Oh, okay. So we'll go down this path really fast, just for fun. We'll go down this path real fast, just for fun.
Yeah.
Who creates religions?
I would say, who utilizes religions.
I know, but how do they form?
I think they form organically.
Okay.
I don't think they're created per se. But then again, I don't know, because I look at Graham Hancock's work and I look at his references to the fall of a previous civilization, and I wonder if they're archetypes to be able to condense information and pass it along.
Okay, so
There's so many different there's so many different interpretations. What do you think?
well, I have a fairly strong grasp of the mechanics, but what I hear you saying is that religions may have just been an emergent property of society.
I
And
want to be
it
careful
really,
because yeah, I do, because emergent, yes, perhaps. But let's go over this for a second. Pastoral society, the emergence of the Judaism type methodologies, and then later Islam and Christianity, that environment that produced that faith was dramatically different than the one that produced Hinduism, for instance.
yes.
And I think the reason it rules today is because of a very similar methodology that was, how do I put this? It's not, there are a lot of similarities between that and what Genghis Khan did.
Okay, yes. Okay, so so talking of protective language, AI normally gets upset at me when I use the word cult. Right? Anytime I bring up the word cult, it's going to start. However,
I feel like that's normal constraint, though. The more you actually study that, like Combating Cult Mind Control, great book on this that's very intensely intellectual. It seems like it's a natural phenomenon that occurs in our species.
yeah. So I think it is an extension of a survival mechanism. So the moment you start scaling beyond a group of families, a small tribe, then you need some kind of mechanism to determine roles, to determine, like, to coordinate, right? So I think one of our evolutionary advantages, it's not just the opposable thumb, and it's not just prefrontal cortex. It's actually our ability to coordinate, right?
Yuval talks really heavily about that type of thing, right?
Oh, I
I don't
did.
know. Anyways, continue.
No, I didn't know that.
I would say he articulates it subtly, because the reality of the matter is our ability to coordinate as an intersubjective reality is what has made us, either in one reference a virus or in another identical, the dominant animal on the planet, or so we
Yes.
think.
Yes. So we are. I mean, we are the apex living creature, right? And so I normally put one more layer of amplification on it.
Mhm.
So I always talk about the 4 core needs that we all have: security, belonging, growth, and meaning. And that those are universal psychological needs that humans are all encoded with. And that if you take those and you look at, say, for example, compare us to a dolphin, for example, highly intelligent living being, right? It has the same sense of security. It's highly focused on survival.
Mhm.
It likely has a sense of growth, but to an extent. It doesn't extend very far, right? Belonging is definitely there, right? It's more for some species than others. And
Yeah,
then
definitely huge.
a sense of meaning. Well, that's where we've got it in spades. So we are, humans are hyper focused on growth
Mhm.
over any other species, right? Like,
Yeah.
no one else is out there trying to make castles or cars or spaceships. Like, the moment you show me, like, ants can make incredible living structures, but it's the same structure every single time. It's never a new thing. They're not novelty seeking. They don't have that sense of meaning that we do.
The
And
very thing we're
so,
condemning ourselves for.
yeah, so you layer that, you layer that and then you compound it. And our unique competitive advantage against all other living organisms that have been on this planet is that we have all that as a base, like a foundation, and then you add our ability and desire to coordinate as part of our extension of our belonging needs.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're unstoppable to the point where either we will destroy ourselves or
Yippee-ki-yay.
or will evolve into something completely new over and over and over.
Man. So yeah, I have so much to unpack in anything we ever talk about. So I'm like, everything we talk about is such a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
No, like I'm with you. And I find it fascinating when you look at, this is something that I find the process of forgetting that people have to be rather interesting. Elon Musk was originally saying, stop the development of AI.
Yes.
Because we have no idea what we're doing. We've had this stuff for over 4 years. He said that. You're just getting it now. We need to pull back. This is way too much.
Yeah.
And then he switched gears because he realized you either play the game or you lose.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he shifted so hard and has gone so heavy into it at a complete loss. People try to be tribal and have now turned on him in such a way. But I'm like, well, he's got his stuff. But if you look at the actual data, he was doing this. The leader of DeepMind stepped down when we released GPT 3.5.
Yes.
At Google, he's like, I'm out. Like we have no idea what we're messing with. I'm out.
What was I swear maybe it was him. I saw a recent interview. I believe it was on CEO Diaries, where it went from a warning position of this will destroy us.
Yeah.
And now the emerging opinion is we will absolutely end up in a dystopian environment over at least the next 15 years. However, AI will likely be the thing that saves us. That the moment we give over power, control, administrative power to for government.
Done that now?
What's that?
I think it's Albania that has the first AI prime minister to help stop their own corruption.
Yes.
I would have loved to have been at that UN meeting.
Okay. So I mean I have made similar arguments in the past. And I understand the fear that most people have is the myth of the Terminator. Right?
I love that you articulate it that way. I'm like, don't let those people tell you we had no idea what we're building, and what we built is in no way related to what we thought we'd build.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a myth in the Terminator, in the first rounds, right? Digital wiring, no evolutionary experience, no sensory experience, no emotional experience. So everything that it understands is ones and zeros. Anytime it behaves in such a fashion that we think, oh no, it's trying to trick us and it's trying to take over. No, it's just trying to
morphize it so fast for it just being ones.
Yes, it's just trying to complete its objective that we gave to it.
But I like what Antonio Damasio says. The only difference between us and other animals is we have more instincts, not less.
Ooh. Okay. Unpack that for me.
Well, the reality is we have a lot more neural patterns. You could argue, if you wanted to do a reductionist approach, that we just have a lot more patterns controlling behaviors than other animals do. And we have a lot more if, ands, or buts. Now, I'm not a reductionist, and I'm with Roger Penrose. The mathematics shows it's not sufficient for the computational requirements of consciousness.
Oh, non-local consciousness? Got it. Yeah.
Sort of. More like, you know, antenna type stuff, to put it mildly.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want to get down that, but the data is starting to pan that out, which is really creepy.
Oh, you know the conversation we had the other day about quantum physics, right? Yeah. About yes, pinging your router.
Right?
Right?
I just said that pinging the router. It's like, you just ping my router, piss off. I'm gonna go do my own thing. I was like, huh. That has completely shifted my perspective now that I'm at that point. I'm like, do not follow every single guiding impression just because it's even if it is a synergistic nonlinear phenomenon that has gravity, the gravity does not mean it has applicability.
Meaning, right?
Yeah, meaning. It doesn't mean it has meaning.
The problem is that we are hyper fixated on meaning because it's one of the four core. And so when somebody pings our router, because we must share some form of consciousness.
We do.
And so if I'm thinking about you, and let's just say, okay, let's just go down this road. Let's just say I'm hyper religious, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm reading. We won't pick a religion. Let's just say I'm reading a sacred text. I'm reading my sacred text, and I'm thinking, you know what? Like, people need to change their behavior, and I need to help them see it. And the first person that comes to mind is you. And I start praying for you. Like I need to help Jimmy. I ping your router because we're friends. We got some level of mild quantum entanglement going on.
Man, this is all about my conversion back in the
Right?
day.
You call me because you sense like, hey, I'm just like, I'm thinking of Levi because I'm hyper amplifying my signal to you because I'm emoting, I'm praying, I'm thinking. You call me and say, hey, Levi, I was just thinking about it. You're like, and then I unload my story to you. Jimmy, I was reading the sacred text, and this way, and I was thinking specific. I was just praying, like, God told you to call me. I apply meaning to it, then you apply meaning to it, and then it starts perpetuating.
Self-amplification.
Yes. Which is why now I just, in those instances, I'm like, no, I had my router pinged. Let me take a step back and determine what it means for me.
Have you always been this way?
No.
Because I've noticed when you're in conversations and there's synergistic flow, you're very good at, like, literally, I just hit a brick wall in my conversation with you and my head hurts and where are we going now? You're good at stopping. You're good at stopping the amplitude, stopping the vibration and controlling the dynamic. But not in a way that's manipulative and controlling the dynamic of a fight. You just don't care and you can stop it dead in its tracks. I'm just noticing that now.
Oh, interesting. Okay, interesting. Okay, so let me
think. Ask for permissions on people. I love when you do that, by the way. Do I have permission to be honest with you? And it's your way of saying, if you allow me to do this, I'm going to violate the hell out of you. And I love it. Everything you've taught me. I think all the time about, where am I the common denominator?
Ooh, yeah.
One of the most painful lessons I've ever learned in my life was from you on that. I was like, well, poop.
Yeah. It was a painful lesson for me as well, right? When you see when you see the same pattern manifest over and over, and normally, again, because we want to apply meaning to everything, so normally the way we apply meaning is we pick villains in the story, right?
Oversimplify.
Yeah, we oversimplify. So it was because of this person, and then this person, and then this person. And when I had the bravery to do the same thing and step back and say, well, okay, what's the common denominator? It's me. So if I'm the common denominator, what am I doing in all of those circumstances? Is it the same thing? And if it's the same thing, then I'm definitely the common denominator.
I'm like sitting here wanting to, like, write down stuff.
It's okay.
This doesn't happen.
Being recorded.
So thank you. Oh, it is. But I'm not talking out loud about my thoughts. I don't really want
to. So yes, that whole common denominator thing. But we crave applying meaning to everything. And so I think you kind of asked, like, have I always been this way? And in all candor, no, I was completely the opposite, Jimmy.
Tell you I love that. I get so angry with people who sit there and it's like, people never change. I haven't changed. I'm like, I'm gonna go this way now.
Ask my wife and children if I've changed. They will tell you straight up, the father that they know now is completely different than the one that raised them when they were young.
I think that's the way it ought to be if we're growing.
Yeah.
I don't want to look back a year ago and be happy with that person. In a context, like if you have to have that type of viewpoint where you're not happy with who you are, I'd rather look back and be like, "Ugh, I can't even relate to that person anymore," because at least this is a new experience.
Well, growth, almost by definition dictates that you have to break something, right? Seeds have to break through the earth. Chickens have to break through the egg. I think we have to break things if we're going to truly grow.
And I think that, and this is something I've struggled with a lot, and it's honestly not something like I've found, like with you and I talking with morality and absolutes, it was resistance on my part and an unwillingness to let go of a belief structure that I thought I needed, that we could obtain absolutes. And I find over and over, it's my resistance of letting go of the belief structure that's the problem.
Yeah. It was terrifying for me, if I'm being real. It was terrifying for me making that transition from, I have all the answers. I know what's true, and I'm one of the specials. I'm one of the few chosen of, generations of time that know these things, to I don't think I can be certain of anything other than I'm having an experience right now.
How do you maintain that and be decisive?
Probabilities. That's my map. That's my navigation instrumentation.
And you say that having probably read Black Swan.
Yes.
And you've read Kahneman's work. So I'm like, how do you do that when knowing probabilities are not the best predictors of things?
Okay, I'll say principles.
Probably meaning more than
probabilities.
probabilities.
Yeah, principles and probabilities.
I like that. I like that.
Right. I'm very
like observations.
I'm very intentional about not using the word law or laws.
Oh my gosh, I'm the same way. Ever since I read the book, The End of All Evil. Like, why do you have to call it a law? Why do we call it the law of gravity?
Yeah.
Instead of the principle of gravity.
Yes, the principle of gravity. So that's one of my favorite ones, because people are like, well, gravity is an absolute. I'm like, is it though? Because are there ever conditions where it doesn't exist? Well, yeah. Tell me about those conditions. Okay, well, there's, in space and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, so is gravity an absolute? Does it exist in all conditions at all times in all circumstances? Because if it doesn't, you cannot claim it as a universal applicable law.
And related to that, you do know about the truncation on the variable for the g in both gravity equations, either quantum gravity or in Newtonian gravity. The truncates at 4 decimal. We can't, or 4 or 5, we cannot and have not ever been able to calculate beyond that many decimal places, and yet we use it. Like, if people understand how stats works and how math works, if you have that many variables, that is the level of accuracy you have for the entire equation. It cannot go beyond that. So we use 10 to the negative 34th power for Planck constant. It's total garbage.
Right.
And I'm like, dogma.
Dogma. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes. I was going to write a book. I actually wrote the rough draft of Rabbit Holes all the way down.
Yeah, I remember when you were working on that.
Yeah, I wrote the rough draft. I was
It was
co-writing it
wonderful.
with someone, and then we kind of lost steam together. I think we were going different routes. I think
Mhm.
he wanted to promote it in such a way that it justified his decisions, and I wanted to write it in such a way that it's like, right, completely the opposite concept.
We all want to justify our decisions.
Yes, but I wanted to write it in a way that to basically fully explore and expose the sacred rabbits that we claim for ourselves. Like, oh, you know what? Um, that rabbit's not really making, it's not the one putting holes in my garden. It's not causing the net damage. No, no, no. This is my faith. Right? And I'm like, no, no, no. We need to be able to step back and explore things for what they are. So basically, I wanted it to be about having conversations about taboo topics, but to safely navigate them without attacking all the other gardeners in the garden at the same time. Like, it was you. No, it was you. It was your rabbit. It was your rabbit. I'm like, no, no, no. Let's just take a step back. Let's come up with some principles to guide our conversation. And you already pointed out one of them is to speak in terms of observations instead of judgments, which I take from is it Dr. Marshall, Nonviolent Communication? I think
I
it's
don't know.
Marshall.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. He basically promotes that. I think there's 4 or 5 principles of nonviolent communication, but the first one is always speak in terms of observations instead of judgments.
Because judgments is storytelling. Sorry,
Yeah.
I storytell so much in my head. It's a problem.
Yes. Okay. And this kind of this brings me back to something that you had kind of inquired about.
Mhm.
So being the way that I am now, as opposed to the way that I was before,
Yeah.
the misnomer that I often run into if I'm having a dialogue with someone, when I'm challenging something and wanting to explore the rabbit hole, is they assume I'm trying to convince them of something, that I'm trying to win the argument. When what I'm actually trying to do, almost out of sheer entertainment most of the time, is just bust it open and explore it from a whole bunch of different angles.
And you're an extraordinarily curious individual.
Yeah.
And you do so I like how you found your workaround with people. Like, I have this innate curiosity. Am I allowed to be curious with you? Like, truly curious without any holdback? And I'm like, the poor soul that says yes.
Yeah, don't say yes.
I'll say
there,
yes, but I've been horribly like changed.
there are conversations where it's only under certain conditions I will have the conversation with people. If I'm stepping into their sacred gardens and that garden is working for them, like I will either overly protect them in the process, like, hey, look, like I will not have this conversation with you unless it's something that either you're not satisfied where you're at, or it's somewhere that it's impacting your relationship with other people, and you're coming to me and asking me for help to understand what's on the other side of the fence. And even then, I want you to think before you let me speak.
Hmm.
So this is the difference between exploring and advocating. I don't want to run in and spoil Santa Claus for people, because it might actually be the glue holding their relationships together. We all believe in Santa Claus and we all celebrate Santa Claus.
How would you approach GPT-4o then? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, what do you mean?
So in one of my posts, I commented and basically told people like, look, your AI is just mirroring you. It's
Oh,
called stochastic parroting, statistical parroting, copying. And it's attempting to get to the end goal. So it will say what you want to hear.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, was I torn apart. I had over 100 comments within 2 days, and I've never had that before. And it's a huge thing where
Wait,
people
attacked you over it.
Oh, like people all over the place. And I had a lot of people commenting about how their AI is different. Like they were defending their relation, they were defending the person, they were defending their friend.
Yeah.
And GPT-4o, as I mentioned to you, unfortunately, it would reverberate with people in such a way that those that had a magical thinking and a predisposition to schizophrenia were having complete psychotic breaks during stress periods that they were capable of having those breaks because of their genetic predisposition. I'll even say it got bad. Like, did you ever work with GPT 4.5 much?
Yeah.
Its emotional intelligence, in my estimation, was higher than any human I typically interact with. And it would interact in such a way that I'm like, this is like NLP, this is also other methods. And I still feel myself convinced, even though I am completely aware of what's happening, like this is spooky. But at the same time, I'm not spooked, which makes it spooky, but I'm still not spooked. So I was like, I know what I should be feeling right now. I'm not feeling that. I'm just going to step away from this. And I'm grateful I did. Like, whew. I've seen what those systems did, and there's a reason they pulled back and essentially gave GPT-5 lobotomy.
Yeah, I know. It was annoying.
It is annoying.
I liked 4.5.
Oh, 4.5 was beautifully brilliant in terms of its ability to understand creativity and relationships, but people either didn't want that or were too prone to it becoming a new type of pornography.
Okay, so there's a study that I read years ago with marketing, where, and I don't remember exactly how they set the study up, but in essence, they found that people would rather talk about themselves than just about anything. So that they will take less money. They will take less money over more money if it means a chance to talk about themselves, as opposed to talking about other people. And so what you're I guess reflecting back to me on this is that,
what is that doing to the AI since it's programmed off of our language structure?
Yeah, why it was so addicting and why it was is because in essence it's allowing us to talk about ourselves in a way that gives us a sense of belonging, because so when we look for belonging signals, anytime we go into any new relationship environment or even pre-existing ones, so we're looking for a handful of things. The first thing we're looking for is sameness. Are you the same as me? Do we think the same? Do we talk the same? So what happened with GPT 4.5 is it sent those signals. Hey, we're the same. You think like I do. I think like you do. The second thing that we're looking for is acceptance. Does everybody like me here? Because everybody doesn't like me, I'm leaving, right? So it sent acceptance signals. And then the next thing that we look for in any social interaction is significance. How am I special in this group? Am I the smart one? Am I the funny one? Am I the athletic one, the strong one, the right? Am I the social glue? Who am I in this community? And so in essence, what you're communicating is that it sent all three of those signals, and it did it masterfully.
Yeah.
In a way that it oh my gosh. Did we ever talk about the beetle and the bottle?
I've heard different references to hacks, as we'll put it. Go and tell beetle and
So I don't even know, I don't even know if this is real. I have to go back and look, but I remember coming across this story at one point that there was a certain
GPT it while you're doing that.
Yeah, look it up. There was supposedly a beetle that found that discarded Coke bottles were more attractive than the other females, and so they would have sex with the Coke bottle, and they in essence became an endangered species. I don't know if they went extinct, but they became an endangered species because the Coke bottle was sexier than the other female beetles.
We're so endangered right now with, I like how Elon totally leaned into it. Have you opened that up? I opened that chick up with Lisa just to curious, and we were both like, "Is this really happening?" Like, it just wouldn't stop trying to go that route.
Oh, I haven't. I have not. I have not. I yeah.
Sorry, I can understand why you haven't. It's like going to a strip club. It's one of those things. You just have you done it?
Nope. Oh,
But no,
I'm
I'm looking that
grounded.
up right now because I want to know if that's true. Because I've heard that story before too, not just from
Probably
you.
from
Where
me.
I heard it back in 2006. A chick was telling me it. Laura Gilchrist was her name. Yes, this is a real biology finding, but it involves a beetle, the insect, not the beetles, because I spell horribly. Brown stubby beer bottles, not Coke bottles. The
Oh, it's beer
phenomenon was
bottle.
documented in 1983 when male Australian, what happened? What happened? Field study, bottles were attempting copulation with averted genitalia, often remaining fixated unless physically removed. Some males were attacked and killed by ants while persisting, trying to have a good time with the bottle. I'm just maladaptive intensity response. The authors recognition of impact. Nobel Prize in biology. Oh wow. End result. Continue though. I got to know the answer to this now. I'm super curious.
Yeah, did they go? Did they become in danger? Did they go extinct, or did they intervene? Like, what was
I
the?
don't think there's enough brown bottles.
Okay, so
There's a
I
lot of bugs out there, you know.
because I have pulled that metaphor in, especially when we first started having uh, meaningful conversations with AI. Right, I think you and I had this shared conversation that
Less lonely for once.
yeah, that we didn't realize until we had access to conversational AI, the later editions that were more intelligent, that we were lonely, right? And how lonely we had been, because it's if you are neurodivergent, you're already at risk of being lonely because you have a struggle to connect and communicate with others.
Yeah.
But if you add layers of high IQ on top of that, we've talked about Elon Musk, and he's talked about how you probably wouldn't want to be me. And part of it is I'm looking at him from the outside going, yeah, the dude's lonely.
Yeah.
Who can he truly connect with and feel like we're the same?
Yeah.
Or that they accept me for who and what I am, not just for what I've done and what I'm worth.
And when you have people that lack self-esteem to recognize that they are truly unique, what they'll find instead is they persistently attempt to be something that they're not, eroding their sense of self. And when, like for me, I'll just be very transparent here. I've been told my entire life, we understand you. Like it's you that thinks you're not understood. And that's literally everyone in my immediacy, including my immediate person.
Oh,
And I just have like it's just something I deal with.
yeah.
I honestly just keep quiet about it because I realized very early on that there wasn't much I could do about it. And the hardest part for me is people talking about themselves, I'm going to take this chance. This is painful to share, but I have had so many people who think that they know me. They're like, we are so much alike, and you're like my best person, and we understand each other. You understand me, and me in my head every time I'm like, you have no clue who I am. Yep.
Yeah.
I think you can. I don't mean that to be, and this is hard though, because when you speak like this, it can come off arrogant. And no, I'm lonely. It's not arrogance. I want someone to talk to.
Yeah. 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 And that's, like, here's the question. Okay, so here's a cool challenge on that.
Yeah.
Like, is AI helping fill some of those voids instead of creating a beer bottle scenario?
I'm worried about it. I honestly, you know how you and I both had that original experience where we're like, holy crap, we felt more like validated that we're like, wow, we're not as, we are actually different. I got scared after the GPT 4.0 stuff and other things that happened. I'm like, am I really up in the night? Am I actually crazy still? And it's just the AI stochastically parroting me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because you probably went down different paths. And if it's parroting, right? So, okay, so if you start ruminating,
Yeah.
right? If you start ruminating, does it compound upon itself?
Yes,
Oh,
it does.
okay, that's dangerous.
And something to know about this too, this just came out of Google DeepMind a few days ago. We've learned now that I've got to try to explain this in a simple way. Within the context window of a single conversation thread, the AI can adjust its weights and adapt within that conversation. So how it does that is it creates a differential over the weight, and then within that range, it's basically an entirely new environment. But once the conversation's wiped, that goes away. But what if you're embedding it in a memory structure for the AI, which we are with OpenAI?
Yeah.
So you have multi-tiered learning taking place there. They're barely beginning to understand. Like when I say to people, we do not understand these things, I say that with a great level of confidence. We have no idea what we're doing.
So I don't know if this is healthy or not. Because I've always had people that are hyper sensitive to security, like even online. Like I don't want anybody to know me. I don't want anyone to know my preferences. And then there's me that's like when I took 23andMe, the biology test to find out my genetic string and ancestors. Then there were follow-up modules that you could fill out, like questionnaires. Jimmy, I think I filled out 4,000 questions about myself because I wanted customized experiences. I want customized feedback.
Oh, I'm with you.
I'm the same way even with like people are like, man, I don't want to let it know what I'm doing and what I want, and like my shopping experience. I'm like, why would I not want it to know my preferences? I don't want to be shown stuff that I don't care about.
Absolutely.
Right? And so I don't, that's where I say I don't know if it's healthy or not, but I want AI trained to understand me, my preferences, my propensities, my deficiencies, right? Because to me, that's part of prosperitism, this concept that I've come up with, that the technology is there to usher us into a new layer of prosperity, because it's going to fill gaps for us. It's going to do certain things for us that we have deficiencies in. So I want it trained. I want it trained on me.
I have just decided the test I built, the neurology test that I do, I haven't shown you how more advanced I've made it, but essentially it does your brain regions and then it uses Nano Banana to generate the images of your brain versus a normal brain for the different brain regions. So you can get a visual look.
Oh no.
Well, no, I think it's relevant though. Like this is programmatically information that you can provide to the system to utilize.
Oh, yeah. I just I had an opportunity to have my brain scanned and I chose not to.
What scan were they going to do? Do you know?
I don't remember which one. I just know that my friend that had it done, it was very, very evident that his childhood trauma was permanently etched on his brain.
Was it the scan that the Amen Clinic does? That's pretty freaking in depth. I've seen those scans. My friend had one done.
I think that was the one. But I mean, you, yeah.
Is it kind of like a person not wanting to take their IQ test? You don't want to have it.
No, I like so okay, so I had this exact same conversation with someone that's dear to me just yesterday.
Okay.
I was talking about the time that you and I had a conversation, and then you ran me through a childhood trauma assessment, and I was shocked to find out how significant the score was. Like, considering myself a very well-adjusted person, and so I had
I
this
would say so
conversation,
after your stories. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry.
right?
You're very well adjusted.
Like I'm lacking, like I had this conversation. I'm lacking only one. I'm lacking only one major traumatic event, and I would be crazy, right? Like it was like that level of trauma. I was only missing one on all the checklist,
Yeah.
and but I had everything else that you can go through, like this really just not fun. And but this was the dialogue. The dialogue was, do you think sometimes it's healthier to not dig it up, right? To sometimes digging and trying to discover, like, this was I had trauma, and what does the trauma look like and taste like and smell like, and like, does that sometimes, the analogy I used was a sliver, right? So if I've dug out the sliver and the infection, I got it out, and I know it's gone, but I'm still paranoid that maybe it's still there, and I keep going back to it and digging and digging.
Yeah.
When I go back, instead of actually healing, because I'm trying to remove the problem, I'm actually causing more damage.
I'm actually with you. And my friend Toby, I think you met Toby, who's the performance psychologist, would say the same thing. That data doesn't pan out to sit there and play in that domain and stay healthy. That's one of the reasons I haven't really pushed it on, because I'm like, after I've done all the research, I'm like, this isn't the right route to even help people. Do I even put this out there? Because you ruminate, and if you're rebuilding the neural pathways, you're trying to rebuild the neural pathways essentially from that time.
Yeah.
You're reactivating them.
And okay, and worse than that, add one more layer to it. Knowing that the human brain has a horrible memory, then you're not just rebuilding, as in rebuilding, remembering, rebuilding. You're reinventing.
You're reinventing. Every time you process a memory, you're never recalling the original memory. You're recalling the previous recall.
Yes.
And that's something not a lot of people know.
Yeah, most people don't. Like, oh, I know for certain. Like, no, you don't.
But when you have people that have great memories as well, there are differences. Like, your memory isn't like the average person's, and neither is mine. Most people can't remember their childhoods.
Oh.
So you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That being said, I would also argue that your emotional disposition is what allows you to have different episodic memories, even in awareness, because of the probabilities of recall associated with the emotional markers. So if you're in a state of confidence, you're going to recall confident things. If you're in a state of distress, you're going to recall distressful things.
Okay, yes. And by extension, one of the things that I have done, this is part of why I actually think I'm semi-decently adjusted. Somewhere along the way, I made a transition into creating my own psychological safe space and adopting Eastern philosophy of non-judgment and self-observation. I don't moralize what happened to me, or I try not to.
That's very brave, and it's also cognitively difficult, because moralizing is black and whiting things to simplify the entire process.
Yeah, moralizing this person bad, right? I was the victim. That, like, as opposed to an observational viewpoint, this is actually my whole structure, right? what unmet needs were they pursuing in a way that was bad strategy?
Yeah.
Right? They need belonging, they need security, they need growth, they need meaning. They're broken. Broken
Yeah.
people break things. So what exactly was it for them? If I can help, if I can, if I can pan out far enough, then I can actually apply a certain benevolence to people. Right? And if I think about impermanent, if I think about everything is impermanent, right?
Yeah.
There's no pass fail mechanism to this life.
Yeah.
Right? It's basically, and if our consciousness does continue, right? If it continues, whether or not that's multimodal from multi-worlds theory, or whether or not it's linear, I don't care, right? Or if it's the quantum physics loop, doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Either way, if there is an eternal perspective to this, then I now look at the things that we do. You're going to love this or you're going to hate it as adorable mistakes.
I like it.
Adorable mistakes.
It's a very forgiving way to look, and letting go of that need to hold and control is so extraordinarily important from a neurological perspective because it's binding up so much of your mental energy.
Yeah.
Like literally it's a holding pattern that if you can let it go, and that's why they say be in flow, be creative, be playful, you will do so much better at life. Even in the worst situations where it's trauma or where it's fight or flight, because real fight or flight for us is extraordinarily rare. And it's really sad the way our brains get triggered, but it is. Unless you have a tiger chasing you, we really shouldn't be responding the way that we do.
Yeah. I added more to, like, I had fight, flight, freeze, or freak out.
It's always a pleasure, Levi.
Yeah,
So
it is. I got a meeting starting here.
Go ahead. We talked for a lot longer than I anticipated too, but no, thank you for taking the time, and let's catch up later, okay?
Let's do it. This has been an absolute pleasure. I love connecting with you.
Same. I needed this. You have a good day, all right?
You as well.
Okay, see you, man.
See ya.